The enigma of the warrior monks, swords, faith and finance, the Knights Templar, their name alone conjures images of mystery and power. These were men of a unique kind in the medieval world. They were warrior monks, a concept that was both new and compelling. They wielded swords with great skill in fierce battles, yet they also lived lives of deep religious devotion. This combination made them a formidable force. Their story is one of incredible success. It is also a story of a dramatic and tragic end. The Templars continue to fascinate us centuries after their disappearance from the world stage, their legacy shrouded in both fact and enduring legend. Their duties were twofold and seemingly contradictory to some observers. On one hand, they were holy warriors. They pledged their lives to protect Christian pilgrims. These pilgrims journeyed to the dangerous lands of the Middle East. The Templars were their shields against bandits and hostile forces. On the other hand, they became incredibly astute financial managers. This was an unexpected development for a religious military order. They created a system that was a forerunner of modern banking. This financial acumen would bring them immense wealth. It also perhaps sowed the seeds of their eventual destruction, attracting envy. The Templars were not just soldiers, they were not just monks. They became an international corporation. Humble beginnings, guardians of the pilgrim path. The story of the Knights Templar begins in Jerusalem. The year was 1119. This was just 2 decades after the First Crusade. Christian armies had captured the Holy City. However, the roads leading to Jerusalem were still very dangerous. Pilgrims from Europe flocked to visit the holy sites. They faced constant threats from bandits and remnants of defeated armies. Travel was perilous. Many pilgrims were robbed, injured, or even killed on their journey. There was a clear and urgent need for protection for these vulnerable travelers. This need set the stage for the Templars' creation. A French knight named Hugues de Payens, along with 8 other knights, saw this danger. They decided to do something about it. They approached King Baldwin II of Jerusalem. They proposed forming a monastic order. Its purpose would be to protect Christian pilgrims on their way to and from the Holy Land. King Baldwin II agreed to their proposal. He granted them a wing of the Al-Aqsa Mosque on the Temple Mount for their headquarters. This site was believed to be the ruins of the Temple of Solomon. From this location they took their name, the Poor Fellow Soldiers of Christ, and the Temple of Solomon, later shortened to the Knights Templar. Their initial mission was clear and focused. They were to patrol the roads. Blessed by the Church, a meteoric rise to power. The Knights Templar did not remain a small, impoverished group for long. Their fortunes changed dramatically with the support of the Catholic Church. A key figure in their rise was Bernard of Clairvaux. He was a highly influential Cistercian abbot. Bernard was a nephew of one of the founding Templars. He championed their cause with great enthusiasm. He wrote a treatise called In Praise of the New Knighthood. In it, he defended the idea of a military religious order. He portrayed the Templars as ideal Christian warriors, fighting for a righteous cause and living a life of spiritual purity. This powerful endorsement had a significant impact. In 1129, at the Council of Troyes in France, the Knights Templar were officially recognized and sanctioned by the Church. They were given a specific rule or code of conduct, largely drafted by Bernard himself. This rule outlined their duties, their way of life, and their organizational structure. This official backing from the Church was a crucial turning point. It gave the Templars legitimacy. Pioneers of finance, the Templar banking revolution. Beyond their military role, the Knights Templar became pioneers in finance. This was an unexpected but highly significant development. Their network of preceptories across Europe and the Crusader states put them in a unique position. They needed to transfer money and resources efficiently to support their operations in the East. This need led them to develop a sophisticated system of financial management. This system was revolutionary for its time. It allowed people to deposit money or valuables in one Templar house and receive a letter of credit. This letter could then be presented at another Templar house, even in a different country, to withdraw the equivalent sum. This system was incredibly useful for pilgrims and merchants. Traveling with large sums of cash was extremely dangerous in the medieval period. Robbery was common. The Templars offered a secure alternative. A pilgrim heading to Jerusalem could deposit their funds with the Templars in London or Paris. They would receive a coded document. Section 5, Myths and Legends, sifting fact from Templar fiction. The Knights Templar are surrounded by an aura of mystery. This has given rise to countless myths and conspiracy theories over the centuries. Many of these stories connect the Templars to legendary Christian relics. The most famous of these is the Holy Grail, the cup supposedly used by Christ at the Last Supper. Other tales link them to the Ark of the Covenant, the Shroud of Turin, or even secret knowledge passed down from ancient times. These narratives often portray the Templars as guardians of profound secrets or immense hidden treasures discovered during their time on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. However, it is crucial to state that there is no solid historical evidence to support these claims. Contemporary accounts and surviving Templar documents do not mention the Holy Grail or other such mystical artifacts in their possession. Section 6. A life of devotion, the strict code of the Templar Knights. Life as a Knight Templar was one of rigorous discipline and unwavering commitment. It was not a path for the faint-hearted. Men who joined the order took strict vows. These were the traditional monastic vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. The vow of poverty meant they owned no personal property. Everything belonged to the order. Chastity meant a celibate life, dedicated wholly to God and their duties. Obedience meant they had to follow the commands of their superiors without question, a crucial aspect for a military organization. This disciplined lifestyle was central to their identity and their effectiveness. Their daily routine was a blend of religious observance and military preparedness. Knights attended regular church services, including Mass and the canonical hours of prayer. This spiritual grounding was considered essential. Section 7. The King's Shadow, Betrayal and the Fall from Grace. The downfall of the Knights Templar was swift, brutal, and orchestrated by one of the most powerful men in Europe, King Philip IV of France. By the early 14th century, the Crusader states in the Holy Land had been lost. The Templars, along with other military orders, had retreated to Cyprus and Europe. Their original mission of protecting pilgrims in the Holy Land was now less clear. At the same time, King Philip IV was deeply in debt, partly to the Templars themselves. He was also eager to consolidate his own power and viewed the wealthy, autonomous Templar order as a threat and a rich target. Philip, known as Philip the Fair for his looks, not his nature, began to plot against the Templars. Section 8. The last Grand Master, Jacques de Molay's fiery end. The trials of the Knights Templar dragged on for several years. Many knights, after initially confessing under torture, later recanted their confessions. They bravely tried to defend their order and their faith. However, their efforts were largely in vain against the determined machinations of King Philip IV. Those who recanted their confessions were often treated as relapsed heretics. This meant they faced an even harsher punishment, death by burning at the stake. The legal process was heavily manipulated, designed to ensure the condemnation of the order, regardless of the actual truth. Jacques de Molay was the 23rd and last Grand Master of the Knights Templar. Section 9. Echoes through time, enduring lessons from the Templars. The story of the Knights Templar, from their noble beginnings to their tragic demise, offers timeless lessons. Their initial vision was clear: to protect the innocent and serve a higher purpose. Their dedication to this mission, coupled with their disciplined lifestyle, allowed them to achieve remarkable success and influence. They demonstrated incredible organizational skills and innovative thinking, particularly in the realm of finance. Their commitment to their cause, at least in their formative years, stands as an example of how focused purpose can lead to significant achievements. They showed what a group united by strong values could accomplish. However, their narrative also serves as a cautionary tale about the corrupting influence of power and wealth. As the Templars grew richer and more influential, they inevitably attracted envy and suspicion.